Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Lehigh Valley. We're live streaming on Facebook right now. We're going to ask you to join in. This is going to be our regular service. We're right here in the sanctuary. And we're just going to ask you to take a moment just to breathe together. And just, even though we're not together physically, we can still be together virtually. We're going to ask you to join in and sing with us. And we're going to sing, the first song we're going to sing is called When I Pray. And as we draw our hearts together, let it be the words of our heart. Please join me. Sing with me. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God.
Let us pray. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. There is never going to be another day like today. And how we react to this day and enter into this day is very, very important. Let us enter into our day filled with Spirit, filled with love, and filled with peace. We give thanks in advance for the all good that the universe has in store for us. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Amen and amen.
Please speak louder.
Okay. Yes, we're going to ask you to join in and sing with us one more time. We're going to sing an opening song. This is called Swing Wide the Doors. And this is we're going to take that little bit of Mark Twain that says, dance like no one's looking and sing like no one's listening. And so even though you're not here, you're at home, you can sing as loud as you want. So I can ask you just to join out and just give it your all. This is called Swing Wide the Doors. Sing along with the words.
absolutely beautiful. And now for our statements of affirmation. Our affirmative statements express our unity denominational statement of belief, as well as the vision and mission of Unity of Lehigh Valley. As I introduce each of our affirmative statements, I invite you to consider joining me in speaking the statement aloud. We hope you also share in the vision and mission of this ministry. What Unity believes: there is only one presence, one power, one activity in my life and in the universe: God, the good, omnipotence. The vision Unity of Lehigh Valley holds for the world: we co-create an awakened world of peace, harmony, and abundance. The mission that is ours to do: united in love, we provide a positive environment for all people to discover and express their spiritual nature. Well, welcome to Unity of Lehigh Valley's virtual church service. In other words, church in your jammies. Thank you for joining us this morning. My name is Rev Rachel Sue, and it is so good to be back here at my home church, Unity of Lehigh Valley. And now Anthony will read the daily word.
The daily word today is joy. Joy is my constant companion. I discover reasons to feel joyful every day, even in the most challenging circumstances. I begin by centering my awareness of the Christ, the divine presence within. I feel love, and the peace lift my heart, and the possibilities for good fill my thoughts. I am joyous. I may experience joy as exuberance, delight, and wonder. Joy may also come quietly as the peaceful assurance of God's presence wherever I am, whatever I am doing. My awareness of joy brings a glow. My awareness of joy brings a glow to even the most ordinary day. As I engage wholeheartedly in all that is mine to do today, I share my joy with everyone through kind words, a sunny smile, and a warm welcome to everyone I meet. I radiate joy and bless the world with my positivity, happiness, and bliss. Our scripture verse today comes from Psalm 118:24. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Are you joyful today? Sometimes with all this craziness going on in the world, sometimes we forget that joy, that Christ within us that we need to share. And sometimes we need to be reminded. And sometimes we need to remember that even when I forget, that joy in Christ is still there. I'm going to ask you to sing the song, When I Forget, with me.
When I forget
Do any of you remember the British comedy show in the 60s? It was a satire show called That Was the Week That Was. Probably dating myself, but I remember it very, very well. Well, this week and the week before that also felt like the title of that show. Well, for the next 8 weeks, I'm going to be sharing with you sermons from a book called The Handbook of Spiritual Tools, written by a good friend of mine, Reverend Lauren McLaughlin. And it is my intention in sharing the spiritual tools with you that they will help you to attain and maintain your center during these most challenging times. The solution arises when we stay centered. Before I begin, I want to acknowledge Reverend Joy for her work here at Unity of Lehigh Valley, and I am sure she is going to be greatly missed. While we are not physically together, we are energetically together because there is no separation in spirit. We are spiritual beings living in a spiritual universe. And before I begin talking about the first tool in my sermon series, I'd like to share with you a little story. I was a grandmother for the first time from one of my children, my biological children, who blessed me with a wonderful grandchild named Elliot. Before Elliot was born, I began to talk to him before I would fall asleep at night. And I'd say, "Oh, little boy, you have picked the most wonderful, loving parents. We can hardly wait for you to be here." And I said to him that I would promise to help him remember his spiritual life. Remember the love that he came from and the love that he is. And so I talked to him. I called them my thought words. And one night, I was awakened in the middle of the night with a little boy's voice that said one word, and that one word was Grandma. And I knew that he was listening, so I kept talking to him night after night, and I still talked to him night after night. I wasn't quite sure he was hearing me now that he was born and he was in this world. And I was doubting it a little bit until another night I was awakened with a little voice that said, Grandma. So we are energetic beings and we can share in that energy. So I invite you to open your hearts and feel the energy of oneness together. Have you ever had a problem that keeps you awake at night? You keep rolling it over and over in your head?
It's fine, I'm looking at it.
Trying to figure out a solution? Boy, I sure have.
Stop moving the phone around.
It seems that you can't stop the intrusive thoughts. It's a spiritual principle that what you focus on increases. Spiritual tools can help us switch from focusing on the problem to moving beyond the challenge to a solution. Once upon a time, there was a brave and bold tribe of South American natives who built their village next to a very fast-flowing river. They were successful farmers who worked hard, they raised good crops, created strong families, and they built a strong nation. For many centuries, the people of the village revered the river. They respected it, endlessly observed it, and feared it, especially when it went over its banks. But they never utilized this river. They never turned to the river for its endless supply of food, as a resource for transportation, power, or recreation. If they had, their lives would have been easier, brighter, and a lot more fun. The spiritual tools are like the river, and we are like the natives. The spiritual tools have the power of the universe behind them, and they are just waiting for us to use them. The first spiritual tool in the sermon series is gratitude. This is such an important tool that many books have been written about gratitude, and many sermons have been preached about it. Gratitude is essential to physical, emotional, spiritual, and relationship health. Gratitude changes our perspective by sweeping away most of the petty day-to-day annoyances that we focus so much of our attention on. You know, the small stuff that we sweat over. Small stuff like impatience with your spouse or partner. Intolerance that car in front of you is traveling too slow in the left lane on the interstate. Anger at today's political environment. Judgment, indignation, resentment, and so on. Gratitude is a vehicle to diffuse self-centeredness, and it increases feelings of well-being. Gratitude helps us become aware that there is something greater than ourselves, that we belong to a greater whole, and that we are connected to others as well as the world. Practicing gratitude is one of the most reliable methods for increasing contentment and satisfaction with your life. Gratitude improves your mood by enhancing feelings of optimism, joy, pleasure, enthusiasm, and other positive emotions. Gratitude might reduce anxiety and depression, and even help relieve stress. Gratitude encourages people to pay it forward. Grateful people are generally more helpful, generous of spirit, and compassionate. Physically, gratitude can promote physical health by lowering blood pressure, strengthening the immune system, reducing symptoms of illness, and make us less bothered by those little aches and pains. Gratitude enhances sleep. Grateful people tend to get more sleep and spend less time awake before they actually fall asleep. And they feel more rested by the time they wake up. So if you want to sleep more soundly, instead of counting sheep, count your blessings. Physiologically, gratitude puts your heart into coherence, which can be seen on an electrocardiogram. Gratitude also switches brain coherence and bonds us to each other in heart and brain coherence. When we're gathered together, when we experience this community through singing, chanting, and through prayer. When we do, our cells seem to sync up and our bodies are flooded with what the queen of psychoimmunology, Candace Pert, terms molecules of emotion. These neurochemical markers activate the healing hormones like endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin, and turns off the stress hormones, cortisol, epinephrine, norepinephrine. What that does, it flips our body into a self-healing mechanism. In relationship, gratitude makes us feel closer and more connected to friends and partners. When partners feel and express gratitude for each other, they become more satisfied in their relationships. Gratitude opens the heart to the good in any situation and the good in humanity. When we begin seeing the good in our experience, it is easy to see it in others. Gratitude can lead to more trusting experiences, which leads to more experiences to be grateful for. Gratitude is about feeling and expressing appreciation for all that we have and all that we no matter how little that might be. Gratitude functions as an antidote for attachment to what we want but don't have, and an aversion to what we do have but don't want. Gratitude is the opposite of discontent. There is always something to be grateful for, no matter how negative the situation or no matter how desperate things may seem. And I think it's really important during this atmosphere of transition that we see and be grateful for all the things that are changing in our society. When we find gratitude for lessons learned, we begin to heal. When we find gratitude for the influence of lost love has had on our lives, we can heal from the loss. Gratitude refocuses your path to the greater good. As we practice gratitude, it grows and grows, and it's contagious, just like any state of mind or mood. When we see how much good there is in our experience, it becomes easy and pleasurable to create more good in the world. When I began my message this morning, I said, and I asked, did you have anything that keeps you awake at night? Because you're rolling it over and over in your mind. So how does gratitude actually work? Well, expressions of gratitude, thanksgiving and praise, or appreciation can be an instant mood lifter. They serve as thought pattern interrupters because they redirect your thoughts from the negative repetitive thoughts to something that's more positive. When we find ourselves emotionally involved in a challenge, it helps to have some gratitude tools so that we can easily shift our attention to something else. Gratitude is good medicine for mind, body, emotions, and our spiritual growth. So how can we increase gratitude in our lives? Number one, you can practice the skill of being grateful by writing gratitude letters and making a gratitude list. A gratitude letter is a letter that you write to someone in your life to express how much you appreciate them for what they've done to help you, or maybe they've just been there for you. Gratitude letters can be about events that have happened in the past or are happening in the present, and often help strengthen and repair relationships. Buy a special journal and write down 3 to 5 things that you are grateful for every day, each week, and any time you are caught up in the problem. A simple statement such as, I am grateful that I can see or hear or smell or taste, and I have the ability to touch something. That is enough to switch your focus of attention from the issue and allow the solutions to bubble up from spirit into your consciousness. Make a daily list of all the good things that happened each day. Things like, oh, I went to the gym and I met my workout goals. I took my dog to the groomer. Oh, and she looks and smells wonderful. And at the end of each week, read through the good things that happened and give thanks in advance for more good things in the future. Again, what we focus on increases. Number 2, once a month, make a list of 20 everyday items that you do not want to live without, other than toilet paper. When you're driving, isn't it good to have windshield wipers if it's thunderstorms? Yes, thank you God for windshield wipers. When you want to make out a check, you need a pen. Thank you, Spirit, for pens. Everything, no matter how inconsequential, is something that you can be grateful for. Number 3, make a list of people that you are grateful for. And you can go all the way back to childhood. They could be a coach, a teacher, a minister, a priest, a coworker, a friend. The person could be alive or have passed on. Review your list. And when you come to each name, pause. Send them the emotional and mental thought waves of gratitude. Remember, there is no separation in spirit. You might want to call or write to them, if that is practical, to express your appreciation. I have never forgotten my middle school teacher, Mr. Grove. He was our science teacher, and he did spectacular things with our class. One day, we had a nighttime field trip at the school, and he took us out into the field so that we could look up and see if we could see UFOs. He also introduced us to a book called Stranger Than Science, and in that book, there was a passage describing Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet. When I moved to Virginia Beach, Virginia, I attended the Edgar Cayce Institute. And that book helped me to open up to my spirituality and to eventually find unity. Thank you, Mr. Grove. Gratitude gets your mind off the wheel of repetition and enables you to manifest the world you want. The art of manifestation is about directing energy to create something in this dimension. So as I conclude my message today, I would like to invite you to use this spiritual tool of gratitude. And I'd like to hear from you about how it's working for you. You can instant message me on Facebook, Rachel Sue. You can also instant message me if you have any questions. And I hope that you will join us next Sunday. I will be sharing the spiritual tools of kindness and compassion, which is gratitude on steroids. Know that the entire universe loves and supports you, and so do I. Have a wonderful week. Be well, and God bless you. And so now let us have a little time of meditation together. So I invite you to find a comfortable position where you are in your home. Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And take some deep, deep breaths. And send your attention and energy to your heart center. And breathe deeply. What is it that you are grateful for today? Think about that. Grateful for family. Grateful for unity of Lehigh Valley. What is it that pops into your mind that you are grateful for? If it's a person, then I invite you to send them your loving energy, your gratitude, your thankfulness. But we are not alone in the universe, but we are together. Think about other things that you might be grateful for. Let your heart be filled with joy and happiness. And send that happiness out into the community that you live in. Send your joy and happiness and love. And let it radiate out to touch every city, every state in our United States, and every country in the world. Our planet needs you. Our planet needs you to show the way. And we can do that. And And so I invite you now to take some time in the silence and just let your gratitude and love flow. We give thanks in advance for all of the good that there is. We have flooded this planet with our love and our peaceful thoughts. And we say amen. I invite you to open your eyes. And now I invite you to take your love offerings in your hands. And Unity of Lehigh Valley is so grateful for the giving that you do. Even though our doors are closed, there are still bills to pay. And so let's just take that love offering. And let's just give it all of the love and energy that you have. As we proclaim our statement of giving. Together, the activity of Spirit through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for your abundance in our lives individually and for your abundance here at Unity of Lehigh Valley. Well, we have a few announcements as we move here. The core value that we celebrate for the month of June is joy. Living from our oneness with Spirit, we give radiant expression to a lightness of being. Our prayer chaplains continue to be active while we are social distancing and not able to gather together. Whether you have a joy to multiply or a sorrow to divide, our prayer chaplains join you in prayer. Feel free to reach out to your prayer chaplain. And even though you see us here without masks, we have been social distancing. And in practice, we've been wearing our masks and social distancing. There's an announcement that I'd like to also share with you. For any of you that were here as congregation members when Reverend Yves LaFontant was here, would remember Elizabeth Brott. Elizabeth Brott was our administrative assistant for many, many years, and she made her transition. Elizabeth, I used to come every day for noon prayer time, and Elizabeth and I and Eve and whoever else would walk in would hold our prayer time. She was the glue that kept this unity ministry moving ahead. So we hold in prayer her family, who they're going to really miss her. I would like to thank Karen, our administrative assistant, for all that she has done to make this possible. It might look easy, but it's not. There's a lot of moving parts that goes into doing the church service. I'd like to thank Anthony for his wonderful music. Yes, you can applaud. And I'd like to thank Alan, my husband. He's our cameraman holding the cell phone while we're recording this. Our gratitudes for today. We are grateful to Mark and Renee Entermoser for coming up with the idea for the quilt for Reverend Joy and the amount of hours they poured into making it a reality for last Sunday. We bless you both. Thank you to Jen Hertwig for hosting the Zoom after party last Sunday to say so long, Reverend Joy. We are grateful to Kennedy Spencer and Alicia Burkhart for serving as technical support advisors to participants. Thank you to all who shared in our Zoom party last week. It was wonderful that we could see each other. Your physical presence is missed. We are grateful for your continued support of Unity of Lehigh Valley. As you know, Unity of Lehigh Valley continues to incur routine expenses even while we're not meeting, as I said before. Your continued gifts assure the ongoing work that we do to maintain our buildings so that we all can come back here. A special gratitude from Reverend Joy. Quilts hold a special place in my heart, and I am overwhelmed with gratitude for my gift from ULV. I thank everyone who had a part in crafting this gift and the surprise to get it to me. I am grateful to Jen for coordinating the after party and to everyone who participated. Lots of sweet memories to take with me. If you are grateful for something about ULV or have something to celebrate and you'd like to see it in the weekly email, just send a note to the office by Tuesday of each week. Please join me on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Facebook Live for Wednesday Refresh. That will start on June 10th. Wednesday Refresh is designed to help you get a midweek spiritual recharge. So please join me for an uplifting message and a time of centering. Next week, I will be sharing the spiritual tools of kindness and compassion, which is gratitude on steroids, as I said before. How can we be kind and compassionate to the people we do not like or the people we have difficulty with? Join me next Sunday at 10 o'clock right here to find the answers. It is the first Sunday in June. It is Birthday Sunday. From our membership list, we celebrate June birthdays with Amy Grace Dietz and Marissa Lindsay. Join it at home with Anthony as we sing happy birthday and celebrate these two amazing people.
Sing with me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you. You are wonderful. God is blessing you now. Yay! Yes, happy birthday. As we come to the end of our service usually always ends with us joining in a big gigantic circle and joining hands. And I know we can't do that today, but I'm going to ask you to stand up where you are, maybe join the hand with someone where you're at if you possible, or just virtually reach out. And one of the wonderful things I remember when we were here in the sanctuary together, when we would sing this song, you could see everyone's face. And I would often turn during the song and just look at all the individual faces of all the people that were here and the togetherness we had. As Rev Rachel just said, we are not alone in this world. We are together in the universe. And even though we are not physically together, we are virtually together. So we're just going to ask that you visualize that, visualize those people from our church, from your community, loved ones, people you are connected with, because we are all connected with. And we're going to sing, Let There Be Peace on Earth. Sing loud. Here we go. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. May peace prevail in the hearts and minds of all beings. And so it is. Amen. See you next week.